Hello, Daphne here with another video for you. This one's entitled Amazing Structures Built Centuries Ago. Well, I can tell you I am a big fan of some of those incredibly beautiful buildings that remain standing to this day. They're not all perfect. Some are crumbling, but you can see the grandeur that they once were when you visit them. So we're starting off here in Greece. And there is nothing more spectacular than the Parthenon at the top of the Acropolis. I just love Greek architecture. It is just magnificent. Look at the details in this building. Isn't it beautiful? You can tell what a magnificent structure it had to be in its day just by looking at the detail that has survived over all these centuries. And Greece was an amazing civilization. It was the first democracy in all the world. That was a pretty big tradition to hand down, and an amazing creation that was used all over the world in the centuries to come. But anyway, Greece has so many beautiful spots. The Tower of the Winds, the Arch of Hadrian, among others, and I know I'm forgetting some, but I'm so pleased that some of these ancient structures are still standing in Athens for us to enjoy. Moving across the Mediterranean, we go to Egypt. And there are some of the most incredible wonders ever built on planet Earth. My jaw drops every time I see the pyramids. Do you know that the Great Pyramid took 2 million, what is it? I want to make sure I get this number right. 2,300,000 pieces of stone to construct. And by all accounts, it is absolutely perfect. I mean, looking at this is just awesome beyond, that's such a weak word for what was accomplished in the building of the pyramids. I would have loved to have been back there in those days to see how in the world they did this with such precision. But there's also a lot of other Egyptian structures I love, like the Sphinx here, and all the big, huge monuments in the Valley of the Kings and Queens. Egypt is just full of of structures built by the incredible civilization known as ancient Egypt. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I have never been to Egypt, but I hope I get to go there someday. Next stop, back across the Mediterranean to Rome. Here's the Colosseum. Look at all those arches and look at the curvature of that building. That had to be a gigantic architectural feat way back when this was built. I've had the pleasure of walking through the Colosseum on many occasions, and we're very fortunate that even though it's not in its best shape, you can still get a sense of how magnificent it was when it was first built. Another treat about being in Rome is you can hardly walk more than a couple of blocks without running into an ancient structure. That gives the old city of Rome such charm. I have absolutely loved every trip there. It's a complete walk back in time. The old Forum, the Roman Forum, the Pantheon, which every architect I know says that is one of the most perfect buildings that was ever built, and it was built centuries ago. So there is a feast for sore eyes for all the people who love architecture here in Rome. Next stop, we're off to Turkey. And I can tell you that one of the most beautiful mosques I have ever seen is here in Turkey. It is gigantic, and the detail and the artwork on the inside and out is absolutely splendid. I've seen a lot of mosques in my day, but the ones in Turkey, or I should say in Istanbul, are just the essence of magnificence. And here before us is a picture of the Maiden's Tower, another ancient building that sits right in the middle of the Bosphorus, which is the body of water that rims the coastline of Istanbul. The Maiden's Tower today is a restaurant with a 360-degree view, but what a beautiful ancient building this is. For some reason, I just think this is a total and complete gem. So from Turkey, we're going to go halfway around the world to China. Well, I can tell you when I walked on the Great Wall of China, it was an amazing experience. I just couldn't believe I was walking on stones that had been set centuries ago. I only walked on a tiny portion of this thousands of mile long wall. What an incredible structure. And what an artistic structure too, because all the towers, at least the ones that we saw, were all different. But China has been rich in art and culture from its very beginning. The beautiful calligraphy, the amazing embroidery. I can tell you I am absolutely blown away when I see the distinctive art of China. And I had the privilege of visiting the Miao people in southern China who do some of the most exquisite embroidery anywhere on planet Earth, all done with the same technical skills that were started 1,000 years ago. There's something special, I can tell you, in no uncertain terms, about the ancient art of China. So from China, we're going to head back east across the Pacific Ocean, and we'll end up on the top of a very high mountain in Peru. This is Machu Picchu, the ancient Inca village that was only discovered in the early part of the 20th century. An intrepid explorer hiking the Andes stumbled across this gem of ancient Incan times. A mystery to this day is the fact that the Incas abandoned this site, and no one knows where they went. But they left behind an incredible heritage once these architectural ruins were excavated. And the people that have been here tell me that when you're high up in the Andes like that, surrounded by the gorgeous mountains, that you have a sense of the awesomeness of Mother Nature, a really spiritual, deep sense of one of the wonders of the world, the huge mountains in a beautiful place like Machu Picchu. Another amazing thing about Peru is a couple of 100 miles south of Lima is the Nazca lines. These are huge pictures drawn in the sand, and thanks to the lack of the rain in this desert, they have been preserved for thousands of years. There are pictures of men, of spiders, of animals of all sorts. It is just an amazing display of artwork from ancient times. How they did that and made the images actually recognizable when they were so gigantic has everybody wondering, did they get help from outer space? Well, I don't know about that. But unfortunately, the only way to see the Nazca lines is from a plane. So they are well worth seeing, this artwork in the desert that has survived for centuries. So, my friends, that's just a very, very short trip into some of the ancient structures and artwork that have absolutely fascinated me. I know I'm just touching the surface here, but at least it'll give you a glimpse into some of the special places on Earth that were created by architects in ancient times that had the most rudimentary of tools and yet created so many masterpieces. And aren't we fortunate that we, to this day, can enjoy these magnificent spots on planet Earth?